Okay, class, we're going to start chapter 11 today, 6th graders. And we're going to be talking more about algebra now in our math classes. Okay? Algebra. Sometimes I've heard the lower graders call it letter math. Right? Math, finding the value of variables. And we're going to be talking more about expressions. An expression is just a way of expressing a number. Okay? It's a way of writing a number without knowing what the answer is. Sometimes you write a numerical expression, like 4 times 2. That's a numerical expression because it just uses numbers. Okay? The number of days in a week plus 1. There's 7 days in a week plus 1. So, 7 plus 1. Okay? 5 plus 3. These are all different types of numerical expressions. Right? Now, an algebraic expression is an expression that contains a variable then. So it might use words that stand for different operations, like the sum of n and 3. How would you write that as an algebraic expression than using the symbols? What is the sum? If you see the word sum, what operation is that?
Add.
That's addition, right. So we should write that as n plus 3. The sum of n and 3. Okay? 3 more than x. What are you starting with in this expression? 3 more than x. What amount are you starting with? Are you starting with 3? Or are you starting with x and adding 3? Merlin? Yeah. 3 more than x. So it's x plus 3.
Are we going to?
Okay?
Sixth grade's time to go.
Okay. We will. Just wait, class. Y increased by 3. If it's increased by 3, Garrett?
Y times 3?
Y times 3, or if it's just plus 3 again. 3 more, right? It's increased by 3. So y plus 3. Okay? How about these? X decreased by 3.
X minus 5.
X, oh, I'm sorry, yeah, 5. X minus 5. Okay? 5 less than y. How much are you starting with in this case? Are you starting with 5 or are you starting with y?
Starting with Y.
Why?
Minus.
Because it's 5 less than y, the starting amount. So this is y minus 5. The product of. What is the product of? What operation is that? Class?
Multiplication.
Yeah, good. Thanks, Sam. It's multiplication. So this is the product of n and 7. But we can't write n times 7 that way, because what is that?
W. That's an X.
That's
You do
an
a
x.
dot.
We can't use a letter if we're using letter math. We'd have to use a dot, which means multiplication. Or we can also write it this way, 7n. When you put a letter next to another letter, it means multiplication. Or if you put a number next to a letter, it means multiplication. The number of days in W weeks. Now, how many days are there in a week? 7. So we can write that because we know that number, 7. Now, how would we get the number of days in a number of weeks? Would we multiply? Would we add? we'd multiply by the number of weeks. So what would the expression be? 7 times, good, 7W, or 7 times W. Good job. How about the number of months? We know the number of months in a year, right? So the number of months in Y years is
12 times Y.
good. 12 times Y, or 12Y. Now, the quotient of, what is that? Yeah, that's dividing. So 5 divided by Y. The quotient of 5 and Y, and we can write division as a fraction, 5 divided by Y, or we can write it this way. The quotient of 5 and Y. So then the number of yards in F feet. The number of yards in F feet. How many, there's 3 feet in 1 yard. So, to get the number of yards, we're going to have to divide by 3. These are a little bit. F divided by 3, right? To get the number of yards. And to get the number of kilometers. Remember, kilo stands for 1,000.
1,000.
So,
M divided by 1,000.
good. All right. So there are a bunch of examples of expressions that we're going to be that you're going to be writing in this lesson. Okay.